Welcome to a very special head-to-head for the Goodwin Boxing Show on March 11th at York Hall. Southern Area Featherweight title on the line between Lewis Free Smoke Frimpong. I like the fact that you've added in your ring name.
Yeah, I got to put it in there.
And Conor ADAWAY. I'm not going to give you yours, Conor. You haven't added it into the Zoom call.
Well, I ain't got one yet. That's the problem.
There we go. So, gents, how are you?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Really good. Ready.
Ready. I've just heard you both. There's no bad mouthing going on. I've had some technical issues, and in the background, you've both been good as gold. So there seemed to be very little spite between you both yet. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
There's not long to go, is there? I mean, we're recording this a week or so out. How are you both? Are you both ready? Like, weight's okay?
Yeah, weight's fine on my end. Got a little bit to come off what we expected that. And yeah, bang on track. I'm ready to go.
Conor, because I know I'll come on to it in a minute, but you both fought on the same card recently. You were the heavier of the two of you when you fought on the same card. Is weight good for you?
Yeah, no, weight's no issue. I don't know if I was the heavier. I think I was about, if we're talking kilos, I think I was about 59 kilos on the day. I know on box rec said something else, but
did you about 133 pounds or something on box rec? But...
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't that, because there was a sort of a thing about my opponent weighing in quite a lot heavier than me. It's down on box rec as yeah, I was heavier than I was, but no, weight's no issue for me. This featherweight's actually like really easy for me. I think I could do lower, to be honest with you. So yeah, weight's no issue.
So if you can do lower, why do you fancy this fight? Because let's face it, right? You're both young, undefeated fighters. There would be easier fights out there for both of you at a Southern Area level for a belt. Why do you both fancy this one then? What's in it for you in fighting? Conor, you fighting Lewis, you fighting Conor.
Yeah, so the way I see it is I'm obviously right down the other end of the country where nothing much happens. Do you know what I mean? So I just see that as an opportunity, and it's an opportunity where I really believe I can win. So yeah, it's a risk, but I genuinely believe that I'll win on March 11th.
Lewis, you're looking quite smug there. What is it with you and fighting Conor? Again, you could find easier opponents, I'm sure, for a Southern Area title.
Well, it's the opportunity arose. I'm not one to turn it down. Same as Conor, I can see me winning. I can see it being a good fight, a fight I can win. So yeah, the opportunity's there. We took it, and we believe we're going to come back with the win.
And you both fought on the same card in November. Did you get to watch each other's fights?
I didn't watch Lewis. I had a long journey back to Plymouth. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I got mine done, and yeah, I went home.
And Lewis, did you come out and watch Conor before yours, or were you busy getting ready?
I watched a little bit. I think a round or two. I managed to catch a little bit of it. Yeah, so I watched a bit of his fight.
Did you send your brother out to watch the rest of it?
Yeah, he was there watching it. There's a couple of people that come out to watch the rest of it as well. So yeah, all in all, I think we got all the rounds we needed.
So what did you make of it then? Like, what did you take away from that fight?
I wasn't blown away. Obviously he's a decent boxer. He can box. But from what I saw in the night, I didn't see anything that was going to give me any trouble or anything spectacular. So the come away was with just someone that can box, but I think we can beat.
Conor, you I can see a smirk.
Well, yeah, well, I suppose it's a fair comment, because on that particular night, it was probably my worst performance as a professional. You know, I didn't perform how I probably should have. Matey weighed in a lot heavier than me as well, and it sort of like threw me off a bit. And yeah, it just wasn't my best performance. So yeah, I like the fact they're taken from that fight. So on the night, it'll be a lot different.
And Lewis, your opponent that night, he was wild, wasn't he? He was a hand.
He was a tricky bugger. He didn't really want to stand there and trade, and he was on his bike a lot, and then sort of threw these wild shots from wherever he wanted, and then started complaining towards the end. Yeah, it was an odd fight. It was.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing him storm off afterwards. I think. Well, I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
I think he thought he won, and then he got an unfair decision, but I don't know what he was on.
But the one thing that he was on his bike a lot of movement. Is that good preparation? And I'll come on to it shortly, but is that good preparation for someone like Conor, who's a very good mover, slick boxer?
I think so. Yeah, similar styles in the respect that moves a lot, punches on the go. Yeah, it's not necessarily going to sit there. So yeah, I think that was a good little practice.
And is it as simplistic for the night as thinking that it will be a case of you, Lewis, coming forward, and Conor, you perhaps moving around the outside of the ring and being difficult to tag? Is it a simple case of that, or is it going to be something different?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like I said before, I think the judging I feel like they like aggression. So we've been training to be more aggressive, and that doesn't mean I'm gonna stand close to Lewis. I'm gonna keep it at my range still, but I've been training to throw a lot of punches. So I don't think it's gonna be a case of me just moving around and dancing and trying to nick shots, but I'm generally prepared to stand there and have a fight with Lewis.
Lewis, you look happy about that.
So it suits me to the ground. To be fair, if he wants to get on his bike, that's all well and good. But if he wants to stand there with me, then that suits me and my style. So yeah, I welcome it if he thinks he can hang in there with me. But we'll see how long that lasts.
And what do you plan then, Lewis? I mean, Conor is alluding to the fact there that he's, almost switching his own game plan, perhaps to suit a referee, a judge, same person in that fight, of course. But how about for you? Are you sticking very much to the game plan that you've worked out through your pro career thus far?
Yeah, not too dissimilar from what we've done before. Put the pressure on, work the levels up and down, and slowly and systematically take them apart. From his point of view, he's going to have to stand and fight with me at some point, because if he's constantly negative moving around, it's not going to look good. And come title fights, they're not going to want to see someone that's just constant on the back foot, trying to nick shots here and there. That's not going to win him the fight. So at some point, he's going to have to come. And we're prepared. We're more than prepared.
And what do you see as, and I'll start with you, Lewis, what do you see as Conor's biggest strengths as a boxer?
Range. He's got long arms, I suppose. That's probably his strength. If he can use that well, maintain the distance or judge the distance well, then that's probably his biggest asset.
How do you overcome that? I mean, outside of the obvious of slipping shots and getting in range, like, have you formulated a plan to specifically get around that lengthier boxing style?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what we've been working this whole camp towards, is getting inside the straight shots, the long shots, working our way in, slipping and rolling, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? There's not anything I think he's going to bring or he's going to throw that we're not prepared for, and they're going to be busy, tough, hard rounds.
And how about yourself, Conor? What do you see as the biggest strengths that Lewis brings?
Well, he's strong, he's fit. I think they're his main assets, and yeah, that's what I've been preparing for. Someone that's fit and strong. I think I'm technically a much better boxer than Lewis, but the one asset he does have is that he is fit and he is strong. So yeah.
And do you think that's a problem for you, given it'll be your first 10-rounder for both of you? Do you think that fitness, that strength is going to cause issues as you kind of go down the stretch, if you go down the stretch kind of round 6?
No, not for me.
I think so.
I've trained harder than I ever have done, and I've been having the sparring partners put it on me and not winning a round. You know what I mean? So I know I can do the 10 rounds, no problem.
Lewis, you're not convinced?
Well, whoever's been sparring, they're not me. At the end of the day, you can have all the sparring he likes, but I'm going to bring something different on the night. Like I said before, they're going to be tough, hard, busy rounds. If he thinks he's going to not be under pressure or not have to fight,
I know I'm going to be under pressure, but I know I'm going to deal with it. That's the difference.
I don't think you will. I think you'll last a while, but ultimately you'll fold under the pressure and the shots.
No chance.
The strength,
I'll never
the
fold.
strength, the fitness, and endurance would just be too much
I'll
for you, I
never
think.
fold, mate.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
You have a confidence about you, Lewis. I think that it almost feels like you maybe visioned it in some way, that folding of Conor. Like, what are you basing that on? Given that Conor hasn't fought anyone like you to this point of his career. What have you seen in Conor that makes you think he will fold?
I just, although I think he can fight, I don't think he's strong enough to keep me at bay. He's not got enough to keep me away, to keep me at arm's length. There's going to be a point where he's going to be widening these shots, and it's going to be too much, I think, for him. And the confidence comes just from preparation in the camp. I've had a fantastic camp. Everything's gone well, no issues. Strongest, fittest I've ever been. Fully prepared to do the 10 rounds, 10 hard rounds, and come away with a win. There's been no stone left unturned, and that's where the confidence comes from, just in the prep.
And Conor, going back to what we're talking about with strengths, what do you see as Lewis's weaknesses as a boxer, and things that you'll look to exploit come fight night?
I don't think there's much fault to Lewis's work. I think he's got a bit of head movement, but at the end of the day, I think he just comes forward a lot. And that suits me down to the ground. Do you know what I mean? I think he's just going to walk onto shots all night.
Lewis, turn it round. What do you see as the weaknesses of Conor that you can again look to exploit come the 11th?
I don't think he's durable. That's the way I look at it. I think after a few rounds of pressure, heavy shots up and down, I don't think his body will be able to take it. And like I said, I think he'll fold. I think under the shots that I'll be throwing,
I've never folded.
Hard, heavy shots to the head and body. I think he'll just crumble.
You mentioned about the body a few times there, and I know you're the shorter guy out of the two, Lewis. Is that then? Are you going to be targeting, not to give away too much of any game plan, which I'm sure you won't, but do you see that as a weakness of Conor, that you can get to the body?
I think so. He's got quite a long body, so I think that's something we're going to aim for. Both head and body, but not just going to concentrate on one or the other. But he's got a long body to hit, so we're going to chop away at it.
And Conor, I mean, turning that around as well, Lewis is very squat, very compact. How do you break that? Find routes around that?
Well, I think speed, to be honest with you. I don't think Lewis will be able to handle how fast I am. I don't think he realises how fast I actually am. And I think I'll break the guard. I don't see how he can just stand there and take the shots.
No one's going to be standing. I didn't see him standing there.
Well, I don't think you'll be quick enough to get out the way either. So that's the thing, isn't it?
Lewis, you're not convinced, I can tell.
No. That's what I mean. It's a confidence in the prep. I've sparred these tall, long guys that have got unbelievably quick hands, sharp jabs. And that's what we practice, getting out of the way, moving, countering, and going again. Like I said before, I don't think there's nothing you can throw that's gonna give me any trouble whatsoever. And like you said, I'm too compact and defensively well prepped to get caught and tagged with silly straight shots and shots that he thinks are going to catch me with. They're going to get caught on the guard, slipped, and encountered. So he can think he's got all the speed he wants. It won't count for much.
And what does the last week of camp look like for both of you? That kind of week of preparation. Conor, clearly you've got to come up from the South Coast to come up to London. What does it look like for both of you in terms of leading up to fight night?
Well, I think I'm on my last couple of hard sessions now. I think the last week is just going to be a case of keeping sharp and getting the weight down a little bit. I haven't got much to lose, but it's just getting that little bit off. And then I'm just ready to go at that point. It's just a relaxing week, really.
And how about you, Lewis?
Yeah, similar thing. Got the last couple of sessions coming up. And then next week we're gonna do a bit of a deload, run some drills, practice foot movement and stuff. Things we're gonna use in the fight. Yeah, and to keep it sharp.
And then finally, any words for one another? I mean, it's all been very respectful. Clearly, you can see areas that you both want to exploit in one another. But any final words that you want to pass to the other prior to the 11th?
Just that I hope he's trained as hard as he says he has in camp, because he's going to need every ounce of strength and fitness that he's got.
For you, Conor?
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with it.
Don't need a luck, mate.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
And I think
you'll see throughout. You'll find out on the 11th where levels are.
I hope so. I hope you bring it. I really do.
I will. Yeah.
And it will be interesting. And before we go, shout out to any sponsors you both got. I can see some knocking about in your T-shirt there, Lewis.
Oh yeah, I thought I'd do the honours.
Yes, I always like to make sure they get a mention.
Shout out to Heart of Graph. They sponsor me for every fight. Also, Valor Adventure Alliance sponsor some of our kit and bits and pieces. Guardian Pro. They do all our mouth guards. They're a great team. And then yeah, just want to thank my coach Andy, Michelle, and all the team down of Old Boxing Academy.
Excellent. And yourself, Conor?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to Gas Jack. He sorted my kit out. Drake Scaffolding and AH Therapy for all the sports massages he's helped me out with. And yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone who's bought tickets, travelling all the way up to London to support me. And yeah, all the coaches for all the effort they've put in for this camp.
Nice. And they're all the people that make these fights happen. They're all the people that support you boxers. So best of luck to you both on the 11th of March. It's a cracking fight. 2 undefeated young men, you know, all on the line. Best of luck to you both. Healthy fight, enjoyable fight. I'm sure it'll be a good fight. And yeah, I wish you both the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Thank you, gents.
Cheers, Ryan.
Ta.